Hello everyone, and welcome to a very nice game that perfectly illustrates how even being a billionaire will not make you immune to missing mates in one. I'm talking about an event that takes place after the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz event. All of the players who participated in this event are divided into two teams. We have Team Rex Sinquefield and Team Randy Sinquefield. Now, here is a nice photo by Leonard Oates that will describe the playing venue and, give you a feel of the atmosphere. Currently, there are Maxime Vachier, Legrave, and Anand at the board, but every player makes 5 moves, and then another player takes his place. So it's very interesting because the two amateurs, Rex and Randy, are then replaced by top world elite chess players, and then after everyone made their turns, it all returns to Rex and Randy. So in Team Rex we have Fabiano Caruana, Wesley So, Sergei Karakin, Maxime Vachier Legrave, Shahriar Mamedyarov, and Peter Svidler. And in Team Randy, we have Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, Levon Aronian, Vishwanathan Anand, Alexander Grishchuk, and Linear Dominguez. So, first at the board there are Randy Sinquefield and Rex Sinquefield. Randy opens the game with the white pieces, and he opens it with c4. We have c5, so the symmetrical variation of the English, e4, g6, knight to f3, and the knight to c6. d4, c captures on d4, knight captures on d4, and now we enter the accelerated dragon variation of the Sicilian. Bishop g7 is on the board. Here Randy and Rex leave the table, and they are replaced by Magnus Carlsen and Shahriar Mamedyarov. Carlsen immediately after coming to the table plays the bishop to e3, as he enjoys playing this Marozzi setup against the accelerated dragon. Knight to f6, knight to c3, we have castles, bishop to e2, d6, this is all standard theory of the accelerated dragon, castles, bishop to d7, and Carlsen retreats with the knight to c2. Here they leave the table, and they are replaced by Hikaru Nakamura and Sergei Karakin. There you have it. Team Rex, everyone is eagerly awaiting what will happen on the board. Karakin contemplating his next move. How to go about this knight to c2 move. Rook to c8 is played. We have f3, solidifying that e4 pawn. a6 by Karakin, rook to c1 by Nakamura, and then now knight to e5. Knight to a3 by Nakamura, and now comes queen to a5. Queen to b3, going for the b7 pawn, and now b5. Karakin goes for a very nice pawn sacrifice, but he will get a lot of activity for it. Knight to d5 now. We have knight captures on d5, and here again both of them leave the board, and Aronian and Wesley So replace them here. There you have it, Aronian and his team figuring out what to do here. Everyone is checking out the position except Carlsen. It's very difficult to figure out what Carlsen is looking at. But okay, after knight captures, we have c captures on d5 by Aronian, rook to b8 by Wesley, and now comes h3. Knight to c4, knight captures, pawn captures, and now queen has to return to d1, and Wesley simply grabs the pawn. Rook captures on b2. Bishop captures on c4, and now comes bishop to b5. Again, here both Aronian and Wesley leave the table, and they are replaced with Vishwanathan Anand and Fabiano Caruana. And here we have a very nice move, rook to f2 by Anand. Rook captures on f2 by Fabiano, bishop captures on f2, and bishop captures on c4. Rook captures on c4, and now queen captures on a2. Rook to a4, attacking the queen and the pawn on a6, queen b2, and now rook captures on a6. And here we have h5, the final move made by Fabiano Caruana. Both of them leave the board, and they are now replaced with Alexander Grishchuk and Peter Svidler. There you have it. There is Alexander Grishchuk, and there is also Peter Svidler. You can see that Grishchuk is very eager to find a move. Everyone else is distracted by something, but Grishchuk really wants to find the best move. And Svidler is, as always, happy just to play chess. We have rook to b6 now. A very nice move, attacking the queen. Queen to a3, and now queen to b1, preparing a rook to b8. We have bishop to f6, so when the queen does come to the back rank, the bishop will also be guarding the e7 pawn. Rook b8, rook captures on b8, queen captures on b8, and here we have king to g7. Queen to b1, and here comes queen to c3. Here again both Grishuk and Svidler leave the board, and they are replaced with Linear Dominguez and Maxim Vachier-Lagrave. Queen to d1 is played by Dominguez, bishop to e5 by Maxim, g4 now, and here Maxim pushes f5, and this is really asking for trouble. There was no reason to open up the position like this, but it's all good. King g2, f captures on g4, f captures on g4, and now queen to b2, pinning that bishop on f2, preparing if the white queen ever moves, bishop to d4 will be an idea. Here Dominguez plays g captures on h5, and here you have to capture. G captures on h5, and after queen captures, this bishop to d4 pin will be sufficient for black to draw this game. But here after g captures on h5, Maxim Vachier-Lagrave pushed g5, and this allows white to go for something more than a draw. Here after g5, once again we have Team Randy and Team Rex, Randy Sinquefield and Rex Sinquefield come to the board, and here white can really push for something, but he has to play the absolute best moves, and here Randy Sinquefield does go for it. He goes queen to g4. Of course the threat is queen captures on g5, so bishop to f6 defending it, and now we have h4, another best move that threatens to open up the position. King to h6, adding further protection to the g5 pawn, but this simply doesn't work. Here h captures on g5 was played. This is not the best move. This allows black to draw the game. If he had played queen to f5 here with the threat of queen g6 checkmate, then it's all over. After king captures, queen to h7 is coming, and after king comes to g4, h captures on g5. King captures, and now king to f3, and as you can see, there are no squares for the king to go to. There's no way for black to prevent bishop to e3 check. Whatever you do, even if you check him, still bishop to e3 check is coming, and the king has no moves. All of the squares around the king are covered. You would have to capture here, and white wins. But as this is, a friendly event, h captures on g5 with check. Bishop captures on e5. And now queen to e6 with check. And here once again we have a position where black can easily draw the game after king captures here. Queen to f7 check can come, but king to h6 will allow black to simply avoid all the checks, and the white will not have any chances of improving his position. But after this queen to e6 check, we have bishop to f6. And now once again the game is lost for black. But it's lost if you play queen to f7. After queen to f7 there is no defense against queen to g6 checkmate. But here once again Randy goes for queen to g4. And here yet again if Rex plays bishop to g5, he can defend checkmate and all is well. But the problem is here in this position Rex Sinquefield, the billionaire, played queen to e5 and left the board. Both Randy and him left the board, and we even have a photo of this moment, also a nice photo by Leonard Oates. There you have it. No one can believe it. Rex just made the move. Carlsen already replaced Randy at the board. Nakamura really can't believe it. Everyone is really enjoying themselves, having a lot of fun. And here, of course, there is now a mate in one. Queen g6 will be checkmate, and it was actually Mamedyarov's turn to sit at the board, but he really didn't want to do it. He really didn't want to sit next to Carlsen and experience this queen g6 move over the board. So he tried pushing Karyakin to take his place, and so Karyakin would be checkmated on g6. But then he, of course, arrived at the board. He shook Carlsen's hand, and Carlsen simply played queen g6 checkmate, and it was all over. So yeah, a very nice game in a very nice event that really, brought a lot of happiness to everyone. I will put a link to the original video footage in the description below, so you can check it out. This game starts somewhere at around 30-minute mark, so feel free to check it out. It's very enjoyable. Everyone is really putting their giving their best, and everyone is really funny. Aronian is really a big jokester. He often says that they have they control more space, they have better pieces placement, and they have better players, so of course they will win this game even though the position was completely drawn. Or sometimes he will say, I'm just gonna grab the pawn, and as I'm leaving the table I will let the other guy think about it. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Danny McCullough, Daniel Grout, and Michael Cutler for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon with some of your suggestions. And until I prepare the official Larsen series, still gonna, like I said, go through some of your suggestions. So thank you all, and I'll see you soon.